Shut up and sit down.
Hey guys, Andy from Big Mike's Workshop Painting Studio, and it's White Dwarf time. Running a little bit later than normal, but as always, here we are doing it anyway. Now I've had took a bit of advice from one of our last comments and had a quick glance through it, so I know a little bit about what's inside. But as always, we're going to go right through from front to back, and here we go. So, unsurprisingly, Gazgul's on the front with the artwork from the Saga of a Beast, and we've got some artwork about the new Lumineth elf guys as well. So, skip past the contents because that's not interesting. As always, got some contact from fans. Got some very cool artwork. Now, is that a model? Yeah. So this thing here is a beautifully painted intercessor by a Tami Alonso Torrent from Spain. I do apologise if I screwed your name right up, but what you have done there, mate, is absolutely sensational. So well played on that one. Got a nicely painted a nicely painted Chaos Death Guard Lord. I've forgotten the name for some reason. It's just jumped out of my head. And obviously, as always, GW answering some painting questions, and this one's talking about Smile in particular, how to get the effects what they've got on their version of Smile. So this month's model of the month is the Horticulus Slimux by Jonathan DeVos, which again beautifully painted. Personally, I would have said the Space Marine is a better job, but that's more of a matter of taste, I suppose. But fair play to him, he has done a stunning job on that. So nice one. A couple of Necromunda figures here and some Black Templars. It's always good to see Templars. One of a few Loyalist chapters I actually like. And some Age of Sigmar stuff as well, including some groovy skeletons from the Underworld sets. So, Worlds of Warhammer, Phil Kelly's talking about the background of Age of Sigmar on 40k, and talking about how he's getting on with the certain things he's doing. Just such as things like how a lot of Chaos armies tend to build over each other from one side to another, or from one game to another, that sort of thing. Anywho, skipping that, and we've got some Orcses. So nice big front centre picture of Gazi there, and this is Index Xenos Goth Orcs. So we've got a bit of backstory going on for the Goth Orcs. And we've also got some new stuff in here as well. There is a downside to the new stuff. I'll get to that when we get there. But obviously, we're talking about the different orc types. Obviously, focus on the Goths themselves. And now a bit of a backstory from where the big fights have been. Obviously, Armageddon, Riser, and generally talking about the big names of the orcs, in particular Goths. So obviously you've got the big man, Gruk Face Ripper as well, and that looks like Snagrot. So some interesting little bits of story about that. So as they do in the codexes and the indexes, some major field engagements what the orcs have been involved in, and now the new rules. So I'll start off with a downside. These are designed for open play and narrative play, but we don't have points, so we're not balanced towards match play, which is a massive shame, and I do think we should have done that. Especially as a Goth rocker, we've got is like a banner bearer. It dishes out extra little buffs. New, obviously the character what I mentioned, Grok Face Ripper, and his own personal unit of knobs as well. They're his big dudes. But the Goth Rocker's got a particularly cool rule. So he's got all the standard rule sets. He's basically a Warhammer stat line. His gun is a Rocker Shooter, Assault 4, 24 range, Strength 4, AP 1, Damage 1. And he's got a Rocker Chopper, which is +1 Strength, and he gets an extra attack with the weapon. So on to the interesting stuff. So he's got the standard orc rules, plus he's got music. At the start of each round, battle round, select one type of music for this model to perform until the end of the battle round. So he gets either Goth Rock, which is while friendly Goth infantry units within 6 of this model add 1 to the strength of the characteristics of the models in that unit, which is nice. Or Heavy Metal, which is whilst a friendly Goth infantry unit with the no mucking about culture is within 6 of its model, it generates an additional hit on that ability generated on an unmodified 5 instead of 6. So that's really, really strong. I just wish they'd given them points because I think that's exactly the direction what we should be doing with these guys. Paint Splatter, painting orcs. Anybody who's painted a massive orc army will know how soul destroying it can be, because orcs are they're coming in large numbers, but what they have done is they've split it down from battle ready to parade ready. So you've got your base colours, as long as you keep it nice and neat, and then go up to the fancy highlights that really make them look good. So more paint splatter using contrast this time. Doing the same sort of ideas, just with the newer contrast paints. Although the green on the skin on the contrast orc is nowhere near as nice as the one that's been painted the other way. So kick bash in. Obviously you can't have an orc army without having orc knobs. So we're making some bashed up orc knobs. We've also made a Goth Orc with a Big Mech, Goth Orc Big Mech with a force field, which is nice to see because obviously that's just been put into the codex as an available unit. And obviously with having the new guy in there, we've converted up a Rocker Boy. This one's been done using a / Noise Marine, which is a very expensive conversion, but it looks cool. It's also got some of the one of the old Chaos Amplifier packs on the back as well. So now onto an army, personal collection. This is Stu Black, his Goth Orc army, which looks like it could be pretty sizable. It has got a Stomper in there as well, along with a lot of other cool stuff. I do like the Dakka Jet. I do like the weathering on that. It looks really kind of cool. So more stuff for 40k. Now this is the anticipated. No, it's not. This is Echoes from the Warp, and I'm talking absolute rubbish. So we're talking about what we're seeing. I was talking about the just background of 40k and just the development of it. So, as always, there's a short story in there, and this was written by Adam Dembski Bowden, and it is perhaps tradition is dead for these angels of death. So this is a Dark Angels based one, I believe. Interesting. So, some of you guys have been waiting for the Harlequin stuff to come out, and here we are. So we've got some new alternative abilities for your Harlequins, a bit like the Exarch powers. Your Troop Master can change the Choreographer of War for Prince of Light, Darkness Bite, and Twilight's Grasp. While a friendly mask is within the unit of within 6 inches of this model, you can reroll charge rolls. If you already reroll charges, you can add 1 to the charge distance instead. Darkness Blight, each time the model fights. After its fought, you can select one enemy unit this model made an attack against, and that unit suffers 2 mortal wounds. Ouch. Twilight's Grasp. Each time the melee attack is made against a monster or vehicle, an unmodified wound roll of 2+ is always successful. So they're pretty tasty. Shadow Seer. While a friendly mask unit is within 6 of its model, when determining if that unit is in range of attacks made by enemy models with range weapons, add 6 to the distance measured. For example, 22 away. For the purpose of shooting that model would be 28. Note the purposes of determining if a model is at half range is the distance after applying the effects. So, pretty tasty way of buffing your masks from auras. The Gloom Wake, whilst a mask is within 6 inches of this model, each time a ranged attack is made against that unit, models in its unit gain benefit from covers to the saving throw. An Agent of Bedlam, while an enemy is within 6 of this model, subtract 1 to the attack characteristics. So, Death Jester. Each time this model shoots, the target unit contains 6 or more. Each successful hit roll scores 3/6 instead of 1. This is not cumulative with any other rolls that cause additional hits. So if you're actually wanting to hose down big mobs of orcs, that's a particularly good one to have. Jester Inescapable. Add 12 to the range each time a model shoots. An unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts a mortal wound on the target in addition. Also, the target does not benefit from cover. And Humbling Cruelty. Each time an attack is made by this model against an enemy unit, scores a hit. That unit is pinned until the start of your next move. While it's pinned, subtract 2 from the move and cannot overwatch. Again, really tasty little rules there. But obviously these do cost you one of your other rules instead. And the Sword Tears one is instead of the Blitz ability, it gets the choice of Shocking Emergence. During deployment, you can set up this model shimmering instead of placing it on the battlefield. If you do so, at the end of one of your movement phases, you can set up this model anywhere on a battlefield that is more than 9 away from the enemy models. Each time a charge roll is made for this model, if it was set up on a battlefield as reinforcements this turn, roll 1 additional d6 and discard 1 of the dice. So it allows him to deep strike with decent charges, but I wouldn't take that one personally. Chromatic Rush. When this model advances, do not make an advance roll. Instead, until the end of the phase, add 6 of movement characteristics of this model. Each time a model powers in or consolidates, it can move an additional 3. Decent. And each time, Unnatural Acrobatics. Each time an attack is made against this model, subtract 1 from the attacker's hit roll. Nice defensive ability, really handy. I think from what I remember, the Blitz ability seems like it was probably better, but I could be wrong. Mention your thoughts in the comments. So I've also got a handful of stratagems here. Just get you a nice image of that. I'm not going to go into them because, well, got to get you something to read. Some more stratagems. We'll pick one here. Virtuosos of the Webway. Use this stratagem at the end of your movement. Select one Harlequin infantry unit from your army, not within 1 inch of an enemy model. Move a model from the battlefield at the end of your next movement phase. Set them up anywhere on the battlefield more than 9. Very handy. Allow you reposition model an entire squad to capture objectives late in the game. Quite useful that for 1 CP. More relics as well. Okay, the Twilight Fang Troopmaster. Twilight Fang replaces a Harlequin's Blade or Power Sword. It's Strength +2, AP 3, Damage 2. Each time a bearer fights, it makes a number of additional attacks with a weapon equal to the current battle round. Potentially quite powerful. Death Jester's got his own variant of a weapon. It's called Sagorak's Lament. It replaces a Shuriken cannon with 2 profiles. It's got the Whale profile, range 36, assault 1, strength 6, AP 3, damage 3. Shuriken profile, assault 3, strength 6, AP 3, damage 1. Before selecting targets, select one of the profiles above to make attacks with. Each time a model is slain by an attack model with the whale profile, its unit suffers D3 mortal wounds at the end of a turn. Subtract 2 from the leadership characteristic of this models other models in this unit. Pretty handy. Yeah, I can see uses out of that. Really good if you've got leadership ruining abilities, like if you wanted Dark Eldar or something. So, talking about Hive Worlds now, bit of a waffle about various different war zones. And obviously, Hive Worlds would be a great one to play. So, you can't talk about Hive Worlds though without talking about Necromunda. So, we've got a nice little bit of a mention of Necromunda in the bottom corner here. So, obviously, some interesting personal armies. Yeah, this AdMech is really gritty and dirty. I quite like that. And painting the Zone Mortalis, so giving you quick hints and tips on how to get the best out of your terrain and make it look cool. Which does include throwing symbols and graffiti and such. There you go. That's a nice big rusty Necromunda board. I would love to play Necromunda on that, although getting out your models would be an absolute nightmare. Obviously, some further pictures. It's nice to see it from the various different angles. You could it is giving me some really interesting ideas on stuff for my personal battle board. So, obviously, everyone knows about the Space Marines and the fact that there's 1,000 chapters, and occasionally people like to make their own. And this is talking about how some people have gone around making their own chapters for their own armies. This army in particular is the Tomekeepers. Kill team now. Sisters of Silence kill team. Well, what more can you say? You've got all the rules you need to play Sisters of Silence as a kill team, including the stratagems and obviously the profiles. Now, it looks like they don't get a dedicated HQ slot. So you've got you've got superiors, and you can have. I'm guessing you can have a combination of all three of the types. On to Age of Sigmar now. So, Jarvis Johnson talking about the obviously the games of the fantasy as it's changed over the years, even going into some of the way that the terrain has evolved since way back. Now, I remember this particular kit of Necromunda. That's the one I played back when I was very, very young. So, now from no longer me feeling old, the Age of Sigmar's regular release of campaign stuff. So this is in the realm of Vaddenheim, and obviously this is now I'm not sure which realm this is in, but as always, it's giving you all the full missions and all the rules you need to run a campaign in Vaddenheim. The regular entry of A Tale of Four gamers has been replaced with A Tale of Four Warbands this time around, and the Venom dudes are the ones that I really like. I just can't justify getting them at this moment. So obviously, so many. So much to talk about. So it's going to take a few pages to get there. So, battle report. So this is a battle report between the new stone-loving High Elves and Chaos. Obviously, with this being the new army, we're going to see all the new stuff. So we've got Teclis, the Stone Golem thing, whatever it's called, Avelenor. We've got what's left of Eltharion, and the Aralith Stone Mage as well, leading the host, all the regular dudes. Got a nice big Chaos army with a Chaos Lord on a dragon and a Gaunt Summoner. He's also got a Chaos Lord on a disc and a regular Chaos Lord, plus a War Shrine, which you don't see. Well, you didn't see a hell of a lot in 8th edition. As always, skipping to the end. We don't want to talk too much about the battle report. That's all for you guys. So, Warcry. More stuff for Warcry. So this is the High Elves new models in Warcry. Giving you the rules for them if you want to play them as your Warcry team. And as always, there's an article about Beastgrave. So those guys who play Beastgrave are going to get a little bit of love as well. And obviously, as always, explaining with decks and whatever it is you need to win. Blood Bowl. Exhibition match this time round. So you can actually play pre-generated teams with specific special rules. That's an interesting idea. Now the team values are 1.6 million, so quite experienced teams. And they are humans versus ogres. So Jay Clare is talking a little bit about WARHAMMER this time round. And the new, as you've all seen on the live stream, the new WARHAMMER model is absolutely great. He's a favourite of my character. He's always been my favourite character from Lord of the Rings. Ever since I first read it when I was just a boy, I always liked him. And now he's got a new model. If I ever do venture into Lord of the Rings, which I keep meaning to, I will definitely be picking up that dude. Continuing on the Faith and Fire story, obviously that goes on for quite a while because it's a full novel by the looks of things. And now, as always, just a little bit of info what's going off in the studio with the guys in their own time, which I dare say is very little because there's not much open at the minute. So finally, I've got the Cypher Lords from the Warcry set, another faction of the Warcry guys I really like the look of. And next month, Squigs. So tune in for Squigs next month, guys. Because let's face it, everyone loves Squigs. So there you go. Definitely a 40k strong one this time round. I do feel it was a bit of a missed opportunity with the Orcs not having point values. I do think that could have been beneficial. It would have been really nice to see the Orcs getting a little bit more out of that. Although the Harlequins came out pretty well with plenty of new toys. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching and for listening to me prattle on for the last 20 minutes or so. If you want to see more of this sort of stuff, again, please hit like, hit subscribe. It's a massive help. Just check us out, and we're making videos every week, even though we have had to slow down somewhat due to situations beyond our control. So obviously, thank you guys for watching this one. It's awesome of you guys. If you really want to help us out, check us out on Patreon. We have a Patreon site. There's a whole load of benefits, even just for as little as $1 a month. It all helps us get extra content and extra models for us to paint and give away. It went as far as getting us the entire Warcry set, which we've literally which we're just painting up to give away to you guys as individual models. So that sort of thing's really good. Huge thank you to our main patrons. Also, thank you to the Outpost. Huge thank you to you guys. If you want to check out the Outpost, you get your normal 15 to 20% discount, as you do from any local gaming store. But they also, if you go through our link, will give us 5% store credit for your purchase for absolute no cost to you. It just straight up helps us out. It doesn't cost you a single penny, so please check them out as well. That does really help us out when we are able to pick a whole bunch of stuff up, just because you guys have been good enough to use the Outpost. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye bye.